Alright everyone, welcome back. We're on the last of the lever guns, thank goodness, for now. And this is, I saved my favorite for the last. My favorite to shoot, let me put it that way. Some of the others were like that Uberti engraved yellow boy is one of my favorites to handle and mess with, but as a shooting firearm, this Marlin 1895 guide gun is absolutely one of my favorites. Now, Marlin has a bad reputation, and although they seem to be improving somewhat, from what I understand, they went through some rough times there when they got absorbed by, was it the Freedom Group? And started falling down that rabbit hole of money over quality. Sell more, just enough quality to get them out the door, and some of them were absolutely horrible, cannon sights and some bad things like that. And this gun came from that era, but I was able to look it over very closely in the store before I purchased it, and I got a good one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this firearm. I've shot a lot of rounds through it, 45-70, from arm busters clear down to meek and mild, and it's handled it all just great. A few things I've done to it, so let's bring it up, take a closer look at it. You can see these guide guns are exceptionally short, short and handy guns. Nice heavy barrels, so it's still it'll smart a little bit with some of the heavier loads. You can shoot the lever revolution stuff through it just fine. In fact, that's kind of what that round was designed for. I've got let's show you, the wood is fair on it, just a straight grain walnut, but it looks pretty fair. As I said, I looked it over pretty close. You can see a few things probably changed on it right away as we scan up and down it, and I'll kind of point those out a little bit. You can see as we go up and down it, I'll just start the recoil pad, of course, would not be like an original 1895, but the modern ones do have these, and it's much appreciated on a 45-70. Very nice checkering. It's probably pressed checkering. I would imagine it's not had done. It looks pressed to me. You can see there's a saddle ring on it. I like saddle rings for nostalgia more than anything, and they're handy for hanging a gun up on a hook or something, or if you're on your saddle, you can hook it on your saddle. But in reality, the reason that's on there is because these came with a crossbolt safety in them. I don't like crossbolt safeties, particularly in a bear type protection gun, so that was removed. So we've still got a half cock notch. Again, this is empty, don't worry. And as we continue on up the gun, you can see there's an Aperture rear sight. That is actually a Skinner sight, which has worked very well on this particular firearm. I don't like scopes on lever guns. I think they look odd, but I'm sure it works fine. On a side eject gun such as the Marlin, as opposed to a Winchester, you can put a scope on easily enough. The rear sight's been removed and a blank put in, and then that's a Skinner's front sight. I think they call it the Bear Buster sight. It's a fairly easy process to do. The front sights do screw on these firearms. This one happens to have I believe they're 1-inch separation. There were some other variations on some of them. You have to drive the leaf out of the front sight, and the screw is underneath it, and then the new one just screws right back in place. And I had to put a taller front sight on it because of the Skinner rear sights are a little bit taller. They called this happens to be called the Skinner Express sights, and they offer these front sights in several different configurations. You can just buy a taller blade if you want to maintain the original type sight. And this one happens to have a white some white painted on it to make it a little more visible. That came from the factory that way. You can get them black, white, orange, and then a brass one also. They do make a real pretty brass rear sight for these too. I wished I'd have almost gotten the brass rear sight and the brass front sight, but I don't like reflection, especially in a bear type defense situation. Action is, move the sling. Oh, incidentally, this is a Montana sling if you're interested. You can see how easy it is to adjust there. Let me move back a little bit so you can see that a little clearer. Just a quick push on it, moves it out. Same way going down, got a little tab to pull on it to help you, assist you if you prefer. I do like these slings a lot. I got on this one, and on my hunting rifle, my Tika also carries one of these kind of slings. They're very, very wide, as you can see, very comfortable sling, and yet very simple in operation. So anyway, the gun has already been checked to be empty. You can see I got the typical wrap I put on them, and you see the side eject of that the Marlins are famous for being a little amount of scope on. Accuracy's been superb with this gun, given into consideration the short barrel and the 45-70 rainbow trajectory. But for my work, 50 to 75 yards at the most. It's a perfect gun for that sort of bear country scenario. Would I use it for a buffalo gun? Probably not. A little too short barreled for my taste and that sort of thing. Could be done. So anyway, there we go. I'm about to run out of batteries, so we're gonna have to sign out real quick. And but that's the end of the lever gun. You can see how quick and easy that sling is. But that's the end of the lever gun show. So we'll move on to some other firearms next. And hope you're enjoyed this lever gun series. And thanks a lot for watching.